Happy Freaky Friday! Go and get your freak on! I am the goddess of radical self-love, and this is MECA, Make Everyone Count Always. We are a support network for radical self-love, radical forgiveness, radical compassion, radical dream obtainment, self-care. That's how we do all those things. We obtain our dreams, right, through self-care, so that we're always making the self feel at home in any and every situation we are in. And of course, master manifesting the life you want or desire and deserve. Yes, so that's what we do. We teach and we become. Yes. MECA is also here to support our community's most vulnerable care receivers and those who care for them, caregivers. When our community's most vulnerable and those who care for them feel valued and supported, the rest of us are assured we are valued and supported as well. Freaky Friday. Oh, yes. Thank you all to your likes, comments, donations, and subscriptions. Those of you who are now just joining our family for this journey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, today is Freaky Friday. Freaky Friday is about becoming your full self-actualized self, reaching your full potential, and I like to do this through creativity. So, putting your signature on everything you do, from the way you walk and talk and dress, to the way you decorate your home or answer your phone, anything and everything, the way you do your work, right? The way you exist. How you are communicating who you are to the rest of the world is what we do on Freaky Friday, what we like to focus on, so we can make it a natural part of our day. We get used to it, right? So, yes, we're going to start today with our old friend, my old boyfriend. Yes, I'm cheating on my cards again. So, we are going to be with my old boyfriend, Neil Donald Walsh, and Meditations from Conversations with God. Today is July 22nd, but of course, this video has no specific time, place, reality. So, whatever you hear at whatever time of day or date, in whatever region, will work for you. Hopefully. If not, then just switch the channel. The people who make a living doing what they love are the people who insist on doing so. Do you know what? I totally read the wrong date. Sorry. Well, that one made sense for today anyway, especially because we're talking about putting our stamp on it. So whatever you're doing, as long as you put your stamp on it, you'll probably love it because it's something unique to you. So, the real June 22nd, I tell you, you can speak to me as you would speak with your best friend. Yes, at all times. Right? They are listening. So, today, I am going to work a little bit on my painting since it's Freaky Friday and I haven't been with her for so long. And I'll go into a little bit about what's been going on lately after we're done with our lesson from my boyfriend, Maslow. My real boyfriend. Whatever. I have a lot of, I do. Can't help it. I just love men with amazing minds and women. I'm an equal opportunity employer. So, needing love and unneeding love. This is a good one for Freaky Friday since we do talk about sex also. So we can keep that kind of in the back of our minds while we're learning, deciding what to keep and what not to, right? Needing love and unneeding love. The love need, as ordinarily studied, for instance, by Bowlby, Spitz, and Levy, is a deficient need. It is a hole which has to be filled. That's probably not the best terminology, but an emptiness into which love is poured. If this healing necessity is not available, severe pathology results. If it is available at the right time, in the right quantities, and with proper style, then pathology is averted. I'm just going to keep reading. Intermediate states of pathology and health follow upon intermediate states of thwarting or satiation of the pathology. If the pathology is too severe, and if it is caught early enough, replacement therapy can cure. That is to say, the sickness, love hunger, can be cured in certain cases by making up the pathological deficiencies. Love hunger is a deficiency disease like salt hunger or the avitamins. I don't know. Avitaminosis. Okay, avitaminosis. Like salt hunger or avitaminosis. The healthy person not having this deficiency does not need to receive love exactly in steady, small, maintained doses, and he may even do without these for periods of time. But if motivation is entirely a matter of satisfying defect, sorry guys, deficiencies, and thus getting rid of needs, then a contradiction appears. Satisfaction of the need should cause it to disappear, which is to say that people who have stood in satisfying love relationships are precisely the people who should be less likely to give and receive love. But clinical study of healthier people who have been loved, need satiated show that although they need less to receive love, they are more able to give love. In this sense, they are more loving people. This finding in and itself exposes the limitation of ordinary deficiency needs-centered motivation theory and indicates the necessity for meta-motivation theory or growth motivation or self-actualization theory. Okay, so those of you who obviously know me and know quite a bit of my story, if you've read The Snake That Never Sheds, my memoir, you will see that I was definitely lacking in the love house. So I was love hungry, and working from a place of being love hungry leads to codependency because you're looking for love in every space and it's out of a need, right? And the way to definitely counteract this, if you know, really consider radical self-love, right? If we can teach ourselves how to give the love that we desired to ourselves, right? Through radical forgiveness and compassion and letting go of guilt and shame, the things that really hold us back from loving ourselves, right? then those love needs from others will not be as much like of a deficiency need anymore, because you're always, anytime you feel the deficiency, you yourself are able to give yourself self-care, show yourself you love yourself. You know, the simplest things like affirmations, waking up and telling yourself you're a rock star, you're gonna, you know, own this day, and really to have a gentleness with the self, like almost as if it were a baby. You know, like really treat yourself so tenderly. And those of you who like have suffered through immense suffering and such, it's like, go back within your memory and see the suffering and take care of yourself. Have yourself come and sit in your mind's eye and in your lap, you know, and wrap your arms around yourself and tell them what a great job they're doing and how proud you are for them, of them, for going through this, getting through this, and that there is another side. Make sure you're always telling them that there is another side, and they'll love who they end up being, you know, the strength that they have shown through whatever hard time in their life. So you're basically talking to yourself in another dimension or another time existence, right? Not necessarily another dimension, but so another time period, right? So you're going back into time and you're really doing what you need to care and support that child or that young adult or that adult, whoever is feeling pain or suffering or feeling that they are not lovable. You yourself can do that. You can change the history of where you are today by going back and talking to your younger self, right? Well, that's what I do anyway. So, yes. I have already described in a preliminary fashion the contrasting dynamics of be-love, love for the being of another person, unneeding love, unselfish love, and D-love, deficiency love, love need, selfish love, right? Because with the deficiency love, the D-love, we again are codependents, right? We're needing love. And with B-love, being love, we're giving love. And what it comes back to us, we're just in gratitude for. It's not, we're not giving to receive, we're just giving freely. The love that we feel for ourselves is transmuted into the love that we feel for others. So the most important step is recognizing that you are fully worthy of love. At this point, I wish only to use these two contrasting groups of people to exemplify and illustrate some of the generalizations made above. And I do understand where Maslow says that someone is more capable of love if they've had love. However, just because I am my own experiment here, right? Life is an experiment. I'm an experiment. You're an experiment in this game. And I have met many people in my life who did not feel loved, and to me are some of the most embodied with love people I know. They understand how difficult it is for someone to go through life feeling unloved, right? So that they're more apt to make sure that no one ever goes through that feeling. They want to make sure that everyone understands that they are a divine being, that they are special, that they are gifted, that they are here for a reason. They are here as part of the whole for a reason. Yes, that is my knowledge. Be loved, being, right, is welcomed into consciousness and completely enjoyed since it is non-possessive, right? What lands freely in your hand leaves freely whenever it so desires without attachment. And if it doesn't or shouldn't be there or belong there, like what we do on Walk and Roll Away Wednesdays, we gently move it on. There's no need to be angry. So, since it is not possessive and is admiring rather than needing, it makes no trouble and is practically always pleasure giving, right? Because it's a pleasure to be around others who are not needy, right? They're not needing your acceptance. They're not needing your reassurance. They're not needing your validation. They're not needing anything. They got it taken care of. They're good, right? Those are enjoyable people to be around. So they're pleasure giving. It can never be sated. It may be enjoyed without end. It usually grows rather than disappearing. It is intrinsically enjoyable. It is end rather than means. So, end rather than means, depending on, obviously, like the end result. We're going to get through whatever craziness is going on because we see the end result, so none of the craziest really matters, right? But it's not like not caring how to get to the end, right? I mean, because you're in a state of being, so you're not doing things that are deceptive, because that would be in a taking. So that would be more of deficiency, needing, right? The taking or manipulating or any of these things, those are all in deficiency love. Being love is about enjoyment without end. It usually grows rather than disappearing. It is intrinsically enjoyable. It is end rather than means. The be love experience is often described as being the same as and having the same effect as the aesthetic experience or the mystic experience. The therapeutic and psychogogic, I forgot how to say that already, psychogogic effects of experiencing be love are very profound and widespread. Similar are the, I don't know what is wrong with me today. Well, I do. I'm still tired, but whatever. Characterological, effects of the relatively pure love of a healthy mother for her baby, or the perfect love of their God that some mystics have described. Be love is beyond the shadow of a doubt a richer, higher, more valuable subjective experience than D love, which all be lovers have also previously experienced, right? We can't get to being love unless we've gone through deficiency love and either figured out how to correct it or were already given the support we needed to achieve it, right? This preference is also reported by other older, more average subjects, many of whom experience both kinds of love simultaneously in varying combinations. So, older, more average subjects, so like obviously when people are entering in their golden age, right, they start coming to terms with their beingness in more profound ways than some younger people, right? And they might go back and forth between their old views and their new views, you know, their old views of needing and their new views of understanding that they are a divine being and, you know, coming closer to the real reality of, you know, the situation. So no longer totally an ego state. D-love can be gratified, right? So I need this, got it. I need that, got it. Don't really need it anymore, right? So it's sometimes like the guy or the girl who's always trying to catch someone, right? Like, there's someone right there that I have my eye on, and they're so gorgeous, and they're so this, and they're so that, and they finally get them, right? And now once they got them, they've been gratified. That's all they wanted. They were a prize. It was a trophy. Just sit it back on their, like, mantle with the rest of them and, you know, take a picture so that we have it for later to show everyone, and then go on to the next innocent victim. Just kidding. So, yeah. Sorry, I don't know where I am. Okay. The concept gratification hardly applies at all to admiration love for another person's admiration, worthiness, and love worthiness, right? Because you see them as an individual, unique, special, a unique relationship, giving and receiving on both ends, like, or maybe just one, it doesn't really matter, I guess. But in Be Love, there is a minimum of anxiety and hostility, right? For all practical human purposes, it may even be considered to be absent. There can, of course, be anxiety for the other. The D Love, one must always expect some degree of anxiety and hostility, right? Because with the D Love, there's always going to be, I need this, well, I need that, a push-pull, like constant. Not everybody argues, so I'm not going to say that, but it's almost like a competition for needs in some ways. And maybe they're different needs, but there's still definitely a competition between who's going to get served and who's going to serve, right? B lovers are more independent of each other, more autonomous, less jealous or threatened, less needful, more individual, more disinterested, but also simultaneously more eager to help the other towards self-actualization, more proud of his triumphs, more altruistic, generous, and fostering. So, B lovers, autonomous, meaning like we both can be out working, right? And then come back to enjoy each other's company. We each can have our own lives. I can go out with my friends. I could go on vacation, and it's all good. Why? Because we're both individuals. We meet together and have a wonderful life, but we're still individuals, right? So relationships are a lot more genuine and true to who each individual is, instead of making a complete new individual where both morph into one. Right? The truest, most penetrating perception of the other is made possible by B love. It is as much a cognitive as an emotional connotation reaction, as I have already emphasized. So impressive is this, and so often validated by other people's later experience, that far from accepting the common platitude that love makes people blind, I become more and more inclined to think of the opposite as true, namely that non-love makes us blind, right? Out of needs, gratifying your selfish needs from others. That's the only reason they're getting called selfish, because your needs are not selfish when you are fulfilling them yourself, right? They become selfish when others are asked to fulfill those needs for you, oftentimes through manipulation and whiny behavior. I don't know, like all kinds of things that people do to make sure others meet their needs. And it can go on and on, because there will always be another thing that you need, right, to fill your love cup, to be validated if you're not doing it yourself. It's constant. So, finally, I may say that be love in a profound but testable sense creates the partner. It gives him a self-image. It gives him self-acceptance, a feeling of love-worthiness and respect-worthiness. It gives him Sorry, I was just going to read another line that I already read. All of which permit him to grow. I'll just start over. Finally, I must say that be love in a profound but testable sense creates the partner. It gives him a self-image. It gives him self-acceptance, a feeling of love-worthiness and respect-worthiness, all of which permit him to grow. It is a real question whether a full development of a human being is possible without it. So, basically just being autonomous and being able to be in a loving relationship without being codependent, right? Non-attachment. I don't know where my little sticker went that I had right here. It's not the blue one. Yes, will help others to reach their full potential, right? I mean, it's kind of, I'll just use my ex for an example since that's sitting in my mind's eye. So he was, right, a adult who was controlled for a majority of his life by his father's wealth. Not only him, the entire family, right? And pretty much that relationship was codependent, right? There was always a need, and he was not taught to be self-sufficient. He was not taught to be self-actualized, right? To go and create and to really feel who he is and who he wants to become and all these things, and actually have an action plan and like set goals and write things down to set the goals, right? Make intentions and see what you want to create yourself, not just somebody doing it for you. And so kind of like these things that we do, whether it's for our kids or for our family, like we have to understand that people need to be able to find their motivation, right? Find their motivation. What are you motivated by? If you're constantly giving somebody pleasures that they did not work for themselves, they're going to end up being in a state of codependency because they don't understand the action steps that it takes to manifest the life that they desire themselves. So what happens is they go more into safety and security, okay, or into the role of physiological needs, just having what they need to have to get by, right? Someone who is dependent on, let's say, well, entitlement programs, but that's so, sketchy because there's people who really need entitlement programs, and then there's people who get trained into living out of an entitlement program, and they don't work that muscle, those muscles in their brain, their muscles in different, chakras, right? They don't really work their solar plexus where they have courage and strength and these things, right? So what happens is they atrophy those to the point of not being able to do anything. So it's like the one hand, even if it was somebody being loving, right? Like my ex-partner's father, he was doing something very detrimental taking away someone's autonomy instead of supporting it. And therefore you get, well, you can have multiple ranges. You can have a narcissist, right, who's like living out of false ego, and a lot of their life ends up being false. They're hiding who they really are and things like that, right? So they may have two separate groups of friends, one the family knows about and one the family doesn't, and different things like this, right? Or you can have the codependent, or you can have the narcissist and codependent meet, where they will not be happily ever after. So, yes. Moving on. That was our news for the day. So, I'm sorry that my partner, one of my partners, Kim, couldn't come on. I don't know why I didn't just have the other partner come on, but I guess he was sleeping at the time. So, Kim had to leave town to go to Nashville. So, just like that, she's gone. And I came back to Minnesota, so I'm home. Yay. And I'm going to paint tonight because my mind has been on one project and one project only consecutive days now for weeks, and it's starting to cause me to go a little bit Looney Tunes. But like I told you guys, the grid, the Maslow grid that we all have been working on and talked about so many times, if you've been watching this channel, I'm actually putting it into another use. It's being used for another project or company, and then we're also going to make it useful to all kinds of companies, because it's really just an algorithm that, you know, can tell you what you're motivated by. You guys have been learning about it. So really, when it comes out, which should be this week, whoever wants to take it, if you want to email me, that would be great. Probably, I'll just leave my email in the description. Oh no, I'll just give you my new email in the description. I was going to give it to you now, but I think it's Goddess.ibodme.com. I'll have to check. And there you guys can just email me and I'll send you the link, because I don't know how we're doing the YouTube now, but some things are going to change. So I'm just going to make more like classes, tutorials, certifications for radical self-love. And then if you want to be an expert in self-love, expert in self-care, expert in master manifesting. So basically you just take my certifications and then you can teach others, or you can just be certified yourself. And then on the other side, you can find out your group you belong to. So yeah, lots of fun, exciting stuff coming out, and it's all due on my birthday. So hopefully I can get it all finished for you all by then. And if not, it's just the universe saying it will extend my time. I don't know. Wants me to have a longer birthday. Anyway, I love you all. I'm so sorry. I've missed you all so much. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I haven't been here all the time like I promised, but I will definitely try to make more of an effort when I travel to be recording. Yeah, so like, I'm not trying to roll my eyes at you. I'm just like, oh, there's so much going on. Oh yeah, and the podcast is starting next week also. So that will be on Minneapolis 911 after the call. Yes, I am your host, the goddess of radical self-love. Just kidding. So yeah, I have a few things going on, just a couple, right? And the Goddess website is almost ready, so I will also let you know when that's done. There's just so many things going on. But this is what happens when you're manifesting, right? I've asked for opportunities and they're just flying into my lap, right? So this is what we want to help everyone else do to be able to manifest the life they want. Use the Monday through Friday steps, right? Well, we have Monday through Sunday steps, but I don't do videos on Saturday and Sunday, so that's right. You guys know that, except for today, because I don't think it's Friday. Is it Friday or is it Saturday? I don't even know what day it is anymore. This is horrible. I think it's Saturday. This is so bad. If today is really, it is Saturday. I knew that's why I did this video. That's why I had to like, wait a second. I'm like, I couldn't do one last night. That's why. Oh my gosh, I'm such a dork. Anyway, just wanted to say I love you all one more time, and I hope you all have an amazing Freaky Friday. I'm gonna go paint. Yeah, so excited. Love you all. Ciao, ciao for now.